What's up, everybody, and welcome to that random SEC channel. This is Andrew, alongside with Garrett here.
Hello.
And first and foremost, we're going to be breaking down our Week 9 power rankings for the SEC. Start off with me here.
You gonna go bottom up or?
Sure, let's go bottom up. 16, I got Kentucky.
Yeah, I got Kentucky too, man. They're the bottom of the SEC.
Number 15, I have South Carolina.
Ooh, I have Mississippi State.
14, Mississippi State.
That's where I have South Carolina.
13, Auburn.
The
12,
same.
Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
11, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
10, Texas.
Yep.
9, Florida. 8, LSU.
Oh, I have Tennessee there.
7, Tennessee.
And that's where we have flipped.
6, Missouri.
Yep.
5, Ole Miss. 4, Georgia. 3, Vanderbilt. 2, Texas A&M. And number 1, Alabama.
All right, so I'm gonna mark down where we have incongruencies so we can talk about those.
Yeah. You can go ahead and read yours aloud if you would like, though.
It's pretty much the same as yours. However, I think Georgia is above Vanderbilt. And what else? Ooh, it was LSU and Tennessee, I believe.
Yeah, and we'll have this graphic on the screen for you. But yeah, I mean, it's just a toss-up in the SEC this year, and the power rankings, they fluctuate. They fluctuate every week, and
Fluctuate?
they change.
Yes, they do. They fluctuate.
Fluctuate.
Well, I left this kind of toward the end, but our biggest fluctuation, Texas A&M or Alabama, number 1 in the SEC. Look, if we bring in the AP poll, they're ranked higher.
It's hard. It's hard to argue that Alabama's better, but once again, guys, our power rankings are who we think is the best right now. Like looking at their past game, and it's really a toss up for number 1 and 2. I mean, Texas A&M has definitely proven themselves, and so has Alabama. I just think at this moment right now, if you put them both on a neutral site, I think Alabama's getting the win.
Yeah.
But, I could very well see A&M getting the win too. I just right now, I trust Alabama a little bit more.
See, I think that this Texas A&M team finds ways to win. We've seen it in a slugfest with Auburn. We've seen it in a slugfest with Arkansas, much like the Arkansas Notre Dame game. Both teams, Texas A&M played. They can go high scoring if they need to. They can go low scoring if they need to. I just don't know if that ability to find ways to win can outmatch Alabama. And it's hard to say because it's so ingraspable, if that's a word. You can't put it in hands. You can't really feel it, But I just feel Texas A&M needs to be up top.
I mean, yeah, that's very fair. Both are very fair rankings. And yeah, I mean, it's a power ranking, so like, take it with a grain of salt. But just that is a testament to A&M, and I really do think that's a huge factor in how good they've been, is they find ways to win. They go against Notre Dame, they have to go high scoring. Their defense isn't playing great. They're going against great Notre Dame offense. They pull that one out, and then Auburn. The offense isn't shining, but they find a way to win. Their defense plays lights out. And then Arkansas, you have the same thing as Notre Dame, kind of. 2 great offenses duking it out. But that's really a testament to A&M. And I put Alabama above A&M mainly because, man, this 4-week stretch has just been brutal for Alabama, and they have absolutely dominated it. I mean, you go on the road to Georgia, and you pull that one out. You go back to home, and you beat a really good Vanderbilt team. Go to Columbia, beat Missouri, and you beat your rival Tennessee at home. I mean, I just think that's pretty unarguable.
Yeah, that's a hard stretch, and they did win out. That's hard to argue against. But again, I go back to that ability to win. It's hard to, talk in this theoretical realm, but I feel it. I get battered Aggie syndrome, and everyone's so pessimistic about it. But I just feel that this team finds ways to finish, finds ways to win. They
Yeah.
do what needs to be done.
It's very un-Aggie of them.
Yeah.
Um, no, they have proven it. And, it's power ranking, but you can always point back to that loss for Alabama to Florida State. I mean,
How did that happen?
I don't think we're looking at the same teams right now, obviously, but you could say, well, I mean, does Alabama always find the way to win like A&M does? I don't know if they
Ooh,
really
that's a good
do
point.
because at any given day, that FSU team could show up, and that's just going to be rough. But yeah, I mean, I just think the way Alabama's playing right now is ultimately better.
They just needed, 73 points over UNLM, sorry.
ULM, yeah,
Yeah.
the week
to,
after.
To get their juices flowing,
Yeah, and I mean, even Wisconsin. I mean, Wisconsin hasn't been great this year, but that's a big program and a big win. They haven't gotten trapped this year, is what I'm trying to say, like they did against Vanderbilt.
Well, let's agree to disagree. So, Vanderbilt. Why do you have Vanderbilt so high up?
Man, I'm bought into
Pavia?
to Diego Pavia, man. I really see this Vanderbilt team as a legitimate contender for the playoffs, and we'll get into that later. But just look at their resume. I mean, they're playing good teams and they're handling business. And I mean, that lost to Alabama, but LSU at home, your favorite. That's kind of a game you're like, oh, is Vanderbilt really legit? And they dominate, and that really resounds with me. And I think that they're gonna do the same thing to Missouri this week. To be quite honest with you, and you look at their upcoming schedule, a lot of winnable games for Vanderbilt, and we'll see. But I just think right now they're the third best team in the conference, and I don't think that's too crazy to say.
Yeah, with that win over LSU, at the end of the quarter, it felt like they had control, and they really handled business there.
100%. So you have Georgia at 3.
Yeah.
Elaborate on that a little bit. I think that's pretty accurate as well. I mean,
It goes to the blue blood bias,
oh, yeah.
the BBB. You know what I'm saying? And
You can trust him for sure.
exactly, Kirby Smart knows
Trust
what
that
he's doing.
He does. It's interesting. It's a different Georgia team than we're used to seeing because it's not a lights out defense by any means, but it is an offense who can absolutely light you up, and they're going to be in any game. We've seen that throughout this year. One loss to Alabama, which really doesn't look that bad at all, but
Yeah, and by one score too.
feels like they got to run the table here. Play a scary Florida game next. Florida with a interim, and we've seen throughout this year that the interims have been they've been doing some dirty work, and they can scare you. So
And Petrino did pretty good.
Petrino, and we got the UCLA skipper, and even more people at UAB.
Yeah.
It's an interim's world in college football, so yeah, Georgia's got to watch out. But this is definitely a good Georgia team, just in different ways than we're used to seeing.
Well, with that said, I think Ole Miss's offense goes over Vanderbilt.
So yeah,
Like, I get
you
Pavia.
have Ole Miss at 4.
Yes.
Over Vanderbilt.
I see. I was so lenient about this one, whether they're 4th or 5th in the SEC. That BBB comes back to bite me, man.
I mean, Ole Miss is nowhere near a blue blood, but they are more prestigious than Vanderbilt for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this goes to show what a story Vanderbilt is this year. They're the fun team to root for.
Yeah, and I do understand, like, you maybe trust Lane Kiffin a little more than Clark Lea, but I mean, I just think you got to throw all that out of the window. I mean, in this age of college football, it's year by year, and I just think Vanderbilt. I see them, and I see that they're such a complete team, and I think you put them on a field against Ole Miss, they're coming out with a dub. I truly do.
Well, I'll say this because I think you are more knowledgeable about college football than I am. I'm knowledgeable, but I enjoy watching football. So I
Oh,
enjoy
100%.
Vanderbilt still being the underdog. I get that the sports book favors
No,
them
yeah,
and
yeah.
everything like that, and I get what everyone else is saying. But I want to put them lower to see them rise.
Yes, and this is kind of like we're kind of in a golden age of college football, and I know there's a lot of stuff wrong with it, but like it's fun because we're in this like point where we're still in like our 2015 minds where we think like, oh,
Yeah.
Alabama's got to be good, oh, Vanderbilt's got to be sucky, but that's not the case, but we still think like that. So when Vanderbilt keeps winning, it's so freaking weird, and maybe in like 5 years it won't be like that, but right now it's just like, oh my gosh, they keep winning.
That BBB got you too, man.
Yeah, Vanderbilt. I mean, it's just gonna be interesting to see how this plays out.
It's fair.
And what else do we have different here
I think we had Missouri and LSU at different places. In Tennessee.
in Tennessee? Yeah.
Those are the mid
I,
tier
th-
of
I
the
had
SEC.
I had Tennessee over LSU. You had LSU over Tennessee. Both suffered pretty rough losses, but I just think a loss to Vanderbilt is a little different than a
Yeah.
loss to Alabama. But I think our rankings will very much change. After we see LSU play this week,
Yeah.
because I just think that LSU A&M, if they win that game, then they're definitely going to be over. They're definitely going to be over Tennessee. Sorry about that.
It's no problem. I think we could separate this into three groups of the top tier of the SEC, the middle tier, and just the rest. I would say after Missouri, for me, down starts the mid, and then below Oklahoma is just everyone else.
Yeah, and I think that's very clear. Like, you got your teams that are competing for a playoff spot, then you got your teams that are, playoffs in the conversation, but probably not, competing for a good bowl, and you got your teams that are competing to make a bowl,
Yeah.
like Arkansas, Auburn, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Kentucky. But it's going to be interesting to see. All these teams, just so much parity. We said it. I guess we haven't said it, but it's any given Saturday. And the SEC is really weird to see, but that's just how it is. Like, there's even Kentucky can knock off a mid-tier SEC team, and Arkansas or Auburn can knock off a top-tier SEC team on a given night. Hasn't happened. May not happen, but it could happen, and we're not used to seeing that.
I like how we're in agreement with the bottom tier of the SEC, but it's the top tier that we have disagreements
We
on.
have a little disagreement in the bottom.
It's fun to fight over the winners.
South Carolina, Mississippi State, we have flipped. You're a little more enthusiastic about South Carolina. I just really think that loss was honestly embarrassing. So,
I wouldn't put too much weight on my opinions up for those because I think South Carolina's in the bottom.
I mean, yeah. So you're just saying that like the bottom tier is the bottom tier. It doesn't really matter like the positions of them.
Well, yeah. I hate to say it because I love all these teams, but where they're at in the season doesn't bode too well for me. I'll still watch them play.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to.
Coming from an Aggie fan who's high on his horse over here.
This is the few times that I get to. Okay.
If the Aggies were middle tier, lower tier SEC, then you would start caring.
Yeah, of course I would. But let me breathe this nice air of 7-0 while I still can.
Very valid, very valid. Okay, well, I think we're gonna move on.